excited. We're amped because Mbuemo over the line. Here we go. Fabrizio Romano giving us what we need. This transfer window has been rough, but it is a huge player. Big name, 70 million. How are we feeling?
Bryan Mbuemo, Manchester United winning yesterday with a third bid at ask, maybe even above, and then just waiting for the Ornstein for the Fabrizio Romano. Here we go to drop. It dropped this morning. It's a 71 million pound package, 65 million up front, 6 million in add-ons. It's apparently paid over 4 installments. And most importantly, this is the man that Ruben Amorim wanted. He's going to offer goals. He's going to offer a dynamic style of play. He's going to carry the ball. And I think it'd be a great compliment to Matheus Cunha on the left side. And I think most importantly is we're getting him in before we head to the States on Tuesday. So, in the words of the Costco boys, he gets 5 booms. Boom, 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 boom.
Boom, baby, let's go. Come on, this transfer window has been an absolute bummer. We needed this. Come on, Reds, a big player, going to dominate the right wing, 20 EPL goals. You get a player who can score 20 EPL goals. He won't be on the pens, though, but Manchester United could do things. Who's going to score the goals? This man, Cunha, Bruno Fernandes, and then we need Ollie Watkins. Give me that Garnacho swap. That's the cherry on top we need. We could get a window here, boys. There's something going on. We're going to have to wheel and deal, but we're going boom and boom. We got the buckets. We're going crazy. The Muppets needed this. Come on. This is a big day. Friday. Let's go.
Exactly what you want, right? We have the first preseason game of the season or of the summer tomorrow in Stockholm against Leeds. A little bit of momentum. And we're not going for, it seems to be a quantity type transfer window, but the quality is there. Matheus Cunha, Premier League proven, and Mbuemo, Premier League proven. 2 of the best attacking options in the league that you can actually go and get. Fee is definitely up there. You're paying the high end of fair, but when players like Anthony Elanga are going for 55 million pounds plus, this is a good deal. I'm all about it. It took a little bit too long, but at the end of the day, he's going to be there for preseason. The important part when we travel. So let's get this over the line. Let's get the medical done this weekend. And then, like you said, let's get some of the outgoings in. You know, they're kind of dragging a little bit, but if we get Ollie Watkins and you get a decent keeper, it's like, hey, fucking Muppet, hopium, I'm digging deep. I'm excited. I'm pumped because Cunha and Mbuemo offer real talent, Premier League proven talent that we haven't really been going after for some reason. I was trying to think about the last Premier League proven player we actually signed, and that was probably Harry Maguire, who we overpaid for, but he was Premier League proven. So I think going back to that model, the model that works so well for Alex Ferguson, it's the way to go. Premier League is different. You need players that can hack it, and Mbuemo can fucking hack it. So let's rock and roll.
I mean, the market has changed. I think since we started this deal to the Elanga 55 to what they're quoting Isaac for, or even going beyond that, I think to get 20 EPL goals from this man at 70 isn't too bad. Despite Sergio not wanting to pay up, it looks like we paid up. You got to comment on that as well. Going into the chat real quick. Thanks for shouting out. We had some technical difficulties there early in the pod.
Happens.
Alexander Holmes, let's go Beardo. We're waiting for you guys all day. Appreciate you. James Brown thinks sales are next. I agree, but the swap deal counts as a sale for Garnacho, but it will be tricky to see how PSR rates swap deals. I haven't done my financial diligence on if it could cost us the PSR gain if we swapped them for, say, an Ollie Watkins. But I feel like Garnacho is going to go to Chelsea for Jackson or Aston Villa for Ollie Watkins because we don't have a lot of cash and we have to wheel and deal.
100%. And I think this probably speaks to the fact that I would imagine they have a little confidence that one of the outgoings is near. It seems like that outgoing most likely is Jadon Sancho. We've heard a lot of smoke, also confirmed in the Italian presses about him going to Juventus. It feels like they're getting very close to a deal. I wish this would have happened a little earlier, especially because we just basically paid up exactly what they wanted and then a little bit more. But maybe the overage, right? The 71 million with the 6 million in add-ons. Hopefully they were willing to work with us around installments. Very much a, what's it called? BYPL deal, buy now, pay later deal. But either way, the talent is there. I'm excited about him, and we're just going for real deal players. The caliber of players that other top clubs would sign. I think that is the best way to put the Mbuemo deal that follows up Cunha. Is like, you would not be surprised if any of the top deals in England went for either of these players, and I think that is a great approach for Manchester United.
I disagree.
You disagree?
I disagree. I'm not going to, I'm booming up Mbuemo.
You don't think Arsenal will go for Cunha and Mbuemo?
I'm a Jersey Costco guy all day, baby. Come on, get that double chocolate chunk cookie.
Salt on it. Salt me.
Mbuemo is going to say, I got to say, like, Liverpool aren't in for him. It's the Newcastles. It's sort of the, Aston Villas that would be, that's the type of player. The Isak Arsenal, Liverpool interested. I feel like there's a little level below that. There's nothing wrong with that level. That level we shouldn't even be able to get Mbuemo. So you got to celebrate. It's got to be a good thing. But I'm going to say there is that echelon, that Sesko type talent that United is steering clear of right now in the transfer market. A lot of it is price driven, and this is solid, good business. This is a better strategy than getting more Dutch guys under Erik ten Hag. Like, this is way better. This is already way better.
Or getting players that are not proven in the Premier League. The Premier League is such a distinct league. The physicality, the pace of it. We've failed time and time again for players. Rasmus Højlund, Xerxes, Sancho, like players who just hadn't cut it in the league. You spend big money, Antony, and then they come and they can't cut it. The fact that he has done it for a team, middle of the table team in Brentford, but he's contributed and produced time and time again. I'm excited by him, and I do think
he's a dog. He's got it all.
He works hard. He's got the highest expected assist in the league last year. Obviously, 15 open play goals. He overperformed XG, but that means that he makes the most of his positions, his opportunities when he gets them. So I'm excited to see him play next to Cunha in front of Bruno Fernandes. We need a striker. Ollie Watkins is a striker I want. I feel like it's the most likely. I don't want to get Jackson. He's fine. But I feel like Ollie Watkins is very much a plug-and-play player, someone that even Højlund can learn from. And then we're all of a sudden, we're getting excited. We get that. You get a goalie in. We're now being linked to some Belgian goalkeeper I've never heard of, but that's the kind of signings I like. So Mbuemo, they got it. They paid full ticket, but I have no problem with the price given his productivity over the last 3 seasons. 5th most goals in the league over the last 3 seasons. We need that. We need goals. If we score goals, we stay up in the league.
We're buzzing. We're booming for Mbuemo here. From Romano, it dropped 4 hours ago. Green light, Brentford and club agree for £70 million package. This is from The Athletic. Contract agreed weeks ago with Mbuemo as he only wanted Manchester United move. And again, for him to pick Manchester United tells you a lot about the player. Looks great in last year's kit. Just got a note for Fabrizio. You got to get him in this year's kit. Ornstein, deal, details. Break it down, Alex.
So we'd heard about the rumor yesterday. It wasn't a rumor. It was confirmed by Ornstein that the third and final bid for Manchester United went in to Brentford, closer to the amount that they wanted. We apparently yesterday bid 65 plus 5 in add-ons, very much just eclipsing the 62.5 that we paid for Matheus Cunha. But interestingly enough, when the deal actually went live today, it was a $6 million in add-on. So maybe United bumped up an additional $1 million to also maybe get some favorable treatment on the installments. I had heard 3. Now it looks to be 4. Now we don't know if it's 4. It's probably not 4 years, but there's maybe 2 a year over the next 24 months. But we'll find out more as this kind of washes out over the next weeks and months. But either way, fee had been agreed. Like you said, we're hearing his contract is in the £200,000 range, not dissimilar to Matheus.
Cheap.
Not cheap, but not 400K, not 350 like we're giving certain players like Jadon Sancho. So United are definitely coming down in terms of offering insane contracts. I think that's been the biggest thing that screwed United even beyond the recruitment is signing poor players or players that are not worth the money and then giving them massive amounts of wages. So the deal works. We'll find out more about the installments. And like you said, the medical is apparently scheduled for this weekend. And the boys leave for Chicago on Tuesday for the U.S. tour. He's apparently angling to be there in time, which was Ruben Amorim's mission. He wanted these 2 players as a priority for United. We had always heard they weren't dependent on sellings. It felt like a little bit the second one was, but either way, very exciting to get this development Friday morning. What a great way to head into the weekend, especially because we're going to have our first live stream tomorrow for the Leeds match in Stockholm at the Friendly Arena.
Yeah, ARD changing a lot of things up. We're going live more often. Appreciate everybody in the chat. You got to spam W's in the chat for the dubs that we're going to be getting this season, and we're going to be going live for games, post-match as well, just having a blast. We upgraded the pod studio here, and we're Muppets. We can't get enough of this club, even when they finish 15th. And onwards and upwards, sir. We're either going to get relegated or we're going to win the league. But let us know in the chat. What do you think? Mbuemo, how many goals is he going to get next season in the league? Can he match, what do you have? 14 non-penalty goals, yeah. 15 non-penalty goals.
We take that all day, bro. You'd be the top scorer.
I'm going to say 10. I'm going to go 10.
Good.
I think 10 EPL goals for Mbuemo coming in would be a success and a win. You want to run through his player background. How did he get here? Why did we pay £70 million for him?
Bryan Mbuemo, he's turning 26 in just under a month on the 7th of August. He has been a longtime player for Brentford. He's French-born, but he plays, of course, for the Cameroon national team, and he joined Brentford in 2019 when they were still in the championship, and he was instrumental, actually, in the championship when they got promoted. His goal scoring, 16 goals, 7 assists, obviously in more games than 1920, and then they shortly after got promoted, and since then, he's been quite consistent. Now, 21-22, he got knocked a bit because he underperformed his XG in a massive way, only scored 4 goals, but 9 goals in the 2023 season, 9 goals in the 24 season, and like you said, 15 open play goals plus 5 penalties as he took over for Ivan Toney after his move to Saudi Arabia, and a nice number of assists as well, 7, 8, 6, 7. So if he can get 10 goals for Manchester United, if he can get mid-single digits on assists, that would go a long way. Also, I think he's, if we could start figuring things out from an attack perspective, especially with Cunha next to him, unlock the best out of Bruno Fernandes, you would think he'd get even more chances. And also, like I said, the highest number of expected assists in the league last season. So that's why it's so important to bring in a player in front of Rasmus Højlund as your kind of default number 9, someone that we can, Cunha will be feeding him, Bruno will be feeding him, and then you'd have Mbuemo feeding him as well. So we need a striker that's going to take advantage of those opportunities. So an all-around high work rate player as well. His stats, I think he's we'll get into that in a little bit as well, but his stats, one of the highest sprinters, one of the highest in terms of ground covered. So an all-around excellent player, hitting.
And he's a
peak.
dog.
He is a dog. As is Cunha.
There is some hair on this deal.
Hair.
African Cup of Nations.
I know, that's the biggest
December
thing.
to January this year, he's going to be gone. And you already have our starting goalkeeper Onana is going to be gone, and he has an injury. So that is what's going to drive the goalkeeper deal. But one thing about Mbuemo is AFCON, and you're going to lose him in key areas. Like, remember that time in the season, there's so many fixtures because of the holiday fixtures and et cetera. So he'll be out every other year for AFCON.
He will be out for AFCON, like you said. The holiday fixtures, there's so many games in December. AFCON, like you said, is in January, but we don't have Europe. Europe usually now runs until late January for the group stage phase. We will not have to worry about that. It will have an impact. We've actually got quite a few players now who play, Mazraoui, obviously from Morocco. He will be someone that could be in the fold in addition to, Andre Onana, who we don't even know if he's going to be the starting goalkeeper next season for Manchester United. Let's get into his F brief, sir. Tell us about it. Not as much green as you'd like to see, but Baldo lie in terms of his productivity in the league over the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, his non-penalty XG 83rd percentile. That's huge. Progressive passes 73rd percentile. He actually isn't bad at defense, sir. He has a lot of clearances and aerials won despite being vertically challenged. Versus forwards, right? He's not going to be playing winger at Manchester United, more like a 10. This is kind of when you see the ideas of progressive carries, progressive passes, and the stat line. So he's going to be more of that hybrid role, just not outside for a winger, no more, because he's going to be playing 10 in Amram's system, or maybe just holding the width there with Ahmad coming inside. So it's going to be very interesting. He clearly has the stats on the score sheet as far as XG. You want to break down him and Cunha and their overperformance?
Yeah, I just thought this was an interesting stat that was flagged with Athletic. Shout out to Queso 1983, Bucket Hat FC. Let's fucking go. Boom, 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 boom. I just thought this was interesting. Both Cunha and Mbuemo were the highest in terms of overperformance versus their expected XG in the league last season. You could argue that a couple different ways. The negative way is, hey, he's going to come back down to earth. XG, he overperformed. It was a one-off thing, but at the same time, you could speak about their efficiency in turning low quality chances into goals just because of how top rate their finishing is. So I think both of their goals will come down to earth like we'd expect, right? I think 10 for each would be a great productivity while also throwing in assists, but I'm just looking for a player that's plug and play. That's what I'm excited about. It's like there's always risk around every player, every signing, but the fact that they went Premier League proven for the first time in a long time, they're getting something right around Ineos. And we've heard this is Ruben Amorim pushing for these 2 players. I don't know where the division goes. Is it Ruben? Is it Ineos? But the fact of the matter is that they got players in who could score in the league, even for sides who are not in the top 4 or 5. So I'm very excited. Let's talk about his heat map, sir. He likes the right way. He's a right winger through and through. So even if we reverted to a 4-2-3-1, he would have no problem.
Yeah, just thinking about this and how this signing fits into Manchester United, there's a few interesting takeaways. Here you have the Mbuemo stat map the heat map where he plays. He's a pure right winger, right? And you match it up with Mateus Cunha's heat map, who's sort of all over the pitch, right? He's comfortable coming center, does like to shade left here, getting the strikers involved. But as you can see, two totally different profiles covering two separate sides of the pitch. Now, how does this break down for Manchester United, sir? We're going to bring up our little magnetic board here. And so I brought up, this is the attacking third. And here, actually, you can see Mbuemo is the yellow player here. He's going to hold the width out on the left-hand side. This is hard to do where I can't see it. I'm going by the camera.
You're doing great.
Here's the two midfields. Here's the two midfielders, traditionally. Bruno Fernandes is going to be here, and he's probably going to be shifting up into the middle. And then here you have Cunha. He's not going to be playing out wide on the left. He's going to want to drift inside with Bruno as well. And then that's going to open up the space for Dogu here, which is going to be critical. And you really want to look at this phase of play, and you're going to see Dogu owning the left-hand side here. Actually, this is better. You're going to see Dogu owning the left channel here.
We can't hear you, though.
All right, let me break this up. First time
We're
ever.
doing it live, baby.
But you're going to see Mbuemo holding that height on the right, and you're going to see Ahmad coming in, right? And so Ahmad looked great last year central. And so the way this whole thing is going to line up is going to be unbelievable, with Mbuemo holding the width, Ahmad cutting inside, and then you're going to see Cunha and Bruno linking up in the middle there, because that's when Cunha likes to get involved, and that gives Bruno flexibility. Now, the issue for Manchester United that we can talk about, the six. Yeah. Who's going to own this job? This is the hardest job in the entire team. They got to be switched on to the danger. This is where that Rodri profile player, while all this exciting stuff is going up ahead of them, you got Bruno, you got Cunha linking up, getting central, you have Dogu making runs on the left, you got Mbuemo holding the width here, and that opens up Ahmad getting direct. That's where he wants to be. And obviously, we're going to sign a striker who's going to score all these opportunities. But really interesting for Manchester United how they're going to line up in the final third. Sir, we'll figure out how to do that better next time, but I just thought it was a great way to get an idea of how we can link and connect with these two unique players in the system, and I think Amram is very excited to see what this can do for Manchester United's attack, because we could not score goals last year.
Yeah, and it feels like they're prioritizing the biggest weakness this United side had last season, which was the inability to score goals. Even in that final against fucking Spurs, we couldn't put it in the back of the net. And I thought you really brought up an interesting point. What we've heard in all the whispers up to preseason is that Ruben Amorim favors Ahmad as his right wing back. Cunha will be good on the left side, of course, with the Dogu. Dogu will be the more advanced kind of defensive stalwart to kind of back up Cunha. But in Mbuemo, we just looked at his stats. He's a great presser. He's actually really good defensively. Maybe those two can factor as kind of a 1-2 punch, with Ahmad pushing forward, but obviously Mbuemo being able to track back because of his work rate and how good he is defensively to kind of cover Ahmad as he pulls forward and leaves the United defense vulnerable. So it does feel like Ruben Amorim is ticking these two tens in a way that will best suit his favored wingback positions, which feel like it's all going to be about Dogu and it's all going to be about Ahmad Diallo.
Dogu's, if you go on the left-hand side, Dogu's going to own that width. And he's going to be up and down the channel, just choo-choo all day. And then you're going to have Cunha coming inside, wheeling and dealing with Bruno, and then getting the number 9 involved. And on the right-hand side, instead of Ahmad owning that right channel, it's actually going to be Mbuemo holding the width, and then Ahmad 1-2 inside. And that's where it's going to get really dangerous. And like you said, the fact that his pressing stats are so good that he's going to be able to drop back and then hold for Ahmad so he can get forward and not leave vulnerabilities for the defense going behind. So we're really fixing that attack. But what position came up for me is that 6, that midfielder who is wise to the danger, that Rodri we do not have. That's going to be something that we really need to think about. You can think Ugarte is going to turn up. You can hope Casemiro got the legs, but we shall see. That's going to be a critical position, and that is why we got dusted so many times last year, was that midfield.
Yeah, that midfield was cut through so many times. Excuse me, so vulnerable. There's a lot of priorities. I think right now, with these two players in, you have excellent number 10s that could feature in this system or the next system, whatever happens. But really, when you think about it, what's beyond this, we need an elite number 9. We need probably an upgrade for number 6. They probably won't do that. I think they're going to prioritize striker and goalie and see if Manuel Ugarte can come good and be, a poor man's Rodri in the best case scenario, even though we've talked about how important that is. But they got Casemiro, they got Ugarte, of course. They also have Koyer. It's like there are some options that they can kind of throw in there when right now we need goals. Mbuemo, Cunha will help a lot with that, but that's where an Ollie Watkins and that's where a new goalkeeper will kind of really string together a pretty decent starting 11 without any injuries. Obviously, I think center backs were in a really good place, all things considered. Fullbacks, we got a shit ton of them. Where they're all going to fit in, that's another thing. But we needed an elite striker, and we need someone to swap out for Onana because he just hasn't worked out. And that's just nothing personal. That's just the way football goes. Looking at his stats in the Premier League, sir, how he compares to other players. Last season, 4th in goals, only behind Haaland, Salah, and Isaac. 1st in expected assists, 1st in crosses completed, 3rd in kilometers covered, and 3rd in sprints. So high work rate, high productivity. And
those last two, that's what we need on this team.
Dogs, bro. Because Cunha, for all his strengths, he's more of he has a walking tendency. He runs when he needs to run. But Mbuemo is a hard worker. Like you said, that dog mentality. We need those dogs. This is great. It's a great signing. I'm glad they finally got it in. I wish it didn't take quite so long, but that someone down Sky was making the argument that hey, they saved like $500,000 in wages because they didn't sign him on July 1st. I don't know how nickel and dime United is, but I wouldn't put that above Sir Jim Ratcliffe.
Let us know what gets you excited about Mbuemo in the chat. Also, smash the like button. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed to ARD content. We're going to be going live a lot more throughout the season. Sir, we got to talk about how to pronounce his name. It was Mbuemo. It was Mbuemo. It was Mbuemo. Let's hear it from the man himself. How do you pronounce the name?
Bryan Mbuemo.
Bryan Mbuemo. Is that where we're going? One more time.
Bryan Mbuemo.
Bryan Mbuemo.
So you heard it here on the pod. We're getting better at pronouncing names. Bryan Mbuemo. That is it. Signed him up. Here we go. Two big signings. Do these signings get us top 4 football? Chat, what do you think? Alex, give me your thoughts. Is this enough to get top 4? Just run it back.
No fucking way. No,
that's a strong no.
No, to get top 4? No way. I think a couple more signings, and the big and is does this formation, does this Ruben Amorim character bring it all together in terms of the players getting behind the system being effective in the league with the players he has? I think you get an Ollie Watkins and a decent keeper, top 6 if things start coming next season, and then top 4 the season after. But right now, I still think you need that number 9 because look at his stats. First most in expected assists, 3rd most in crosses. If you have Rasmus Højlund out of form, out of confidence, how many wasted chances do you get? How many wasted chances we have last season with Bruno Fernandes creating the most chances in the league? So get in the number 9 and get in a keeper who's not so shaky in net. Then I could get really confident and excited. But this is enough to finish in the top half, you would think, which is the new bar. Let's finish the top half.
Swaggy says top 4, no. It's the intangible at United is just almost how many dogs we have running, and the thing is there's a mentality problem at Manchester United. So, with this squad, if everybody's locked in, yeah, but with the culture and kind of the not able to string it together, things get tough, everybody blames everybody else. That's really what I'm looking forward to turn the tide. And so, it's probably no for me. This is 6 we could fight for. You had Ollie Watkins, Emi Martinez.
Now we're talking.
I think you should be getting top 4. This manager, even without a midfielder, he needs to figure it out, right? That's enough in this squad without the extra fixtures. Remind you, we're not playing extra games. I think you got to try. You have to be trying. And it's a hard start to the season. So the earlier we get him in, the better. But I want Ollie Watkins because I like this EPL proven strategy better than anything else. And I'm sure we're going to see it pay off in spades.
No, I think top 6 makes me feel comfortable with those 2 additions. Just because if we were talking 6-7 years ago, I'd say top 4. But the competition, the level of just parity across the league, especially in the top half, it's you got Newcastle, you got Nottingham Forest, you have Bournemouth, you just have all these teams. Chelsea are they may be pushing on to win the league this season. So it's such a competitive league that top 6 might be the new top 4. But I think a couple more additions, and it's going to be now dependent on the sales. You got to get the bluffers out, but they are going after the right type of players. The fact that we are hearing Ollie Watkins is encouraging. Even though he doesn't fit the age profile, he is a top player. I think
he would look good.
Red. He would be exactly. We should have gotten him back
Watkins,
in the day.
let's go. I'm all mupping up. I want Watkins, dude. I want Watkins doing this with the scoring. He should have featured in the Euros. They kept Southgate put him under his thumb. He's got some. Villa doesn't want him. He has something to prove. There is some age there, but he's fit and he scores goals. I just feel come to United. Like, we couldn't be worse off in that department. And like, you score 15, you're a hero at Manchester United. Imagine what that does to your confidence. Like, Ollie Watkins, I need that. That's the one I want. I don't want Sesko. I don't want Jackson. I want Ollie Watkins, Garnacho swap deal. But the PSR is probably off on that. We can do that deal. We need to get it done. Put it on the credit card, whatever it takes. Need a striker. But
you don't swap. It's like they sell us Ollie Watkins for 55. We sell them Garnacho for 45, and then it all just washes out in the fucking rain. So I love that signing. I think we just keep doubling down on Premier League proven, and I can't believe we took our eyes on the ball so much. Maybe that was the Ten Hag effect, but like back to basics. But like I said, Sir Alex Ferguson, he did it in the 90s, he did it in the 2000s, and he did it in his last season as well with the RVP coup that really pushed us over the edge in 2013. So I love this move. Unique league. Let's go and lean into the fact that the Premier League is unlike any other league and get the players who know how to thrive. I love that Mbuemo also thrived in the championship, made his way up, and I do fear for Brentford. Brentford might be in trouble next year, losing their coach, their captain, and their best players. So as soon as the Wisa to Newcastle rumors heated up, I knew United would just like react, and react they did, and then the deal all of a sudden gets fucking done like these other clubs that get deals done in 3 days. So hey, it took too long, but better late than never, and most importantly, before the players head out to the States for the preseason tour.
Would you take Dominic Calvert-Lewin on a free and an Ollie Watkins? Like, I think you need somebody else. I think you need 3. I want to keep Højlund, and I want to add two strikers. Like, it's like you got like a Wout guy and like Ollie Watkins. Or me,
Dominic is a Wout.
You need to take a punt.
I do agree.
Like, you need a body. Like, Gallo, you need a body there, somebody, and then you need to get an Ollie Watkins in. But I just think Watkins is going to be overpriced, but he's exactly what we need. We need to pay for that experience. The deal might not make sense, but he's going to score. Like, if you look at his numbers, he's going to score goals, and that's what's next. It's come out that is what United are looking at next. Apparently, we can only do one player at a time. The Martinez rumors continue to be agent-driven primarily.
Yeah.
So we're not getting any top-down Ornstein United keeper rumors. I think there are things going on there.
There was that Belgian keeper that dropped today, which feels, obviously it's not Premier League proven, but he's 23. His stats are actually pretty insane. And he also, fits a criteria I sometimes like, which is like never heard of him before. Less than 20 million pounds. Those are the deals that we have to be effective at and get a good return and have one of those kind of pay off. I feel like Patrick Dogu is one of those players. I hadn't heard of him before he joined United, and we were linked to him in January. So I'm hoping he comes good. I think him playing with Cunha will go a long way. And I think Mbuemo playing with Ahmad will go a long way. But like you said, we need a killer number 9. I think maybe one of the reluctance that they might not look to bring in a third keeper is that they seem to really rate Cheeto. He got his new number. Doesn't seem like they want to send him out on loan from what we're hearing. That obviously might change after the preseason matches. So that's something to keep an eye on. Is like we probably need 4 strikers without Europe. So give me Ollie Watkins, man. Ollie Watkins and a new keeper. It's like we're fucking cooking. Hopium going boom, boom, boom. And I just can't wait. Get the bucket hats on. It's bucket hat summer. Headed to the States. We got Sweden first. We're doing a live stream.
Hey, we're going preseason tour, fight night, fight around the world. Let's go.
Where's Harry Maguire at in Greece?
Or get him. Leeds fans in Sweden, we're going to be there. Bucket hats out.
It's going to be hot.
All right. This has been a great, fun, light live stream. Mbuemo, here we go. Everybody enjoy this one. Everybody enjoy the weekend. We're going live tomorrow. Leeds, Manchester United. First time the team's going to step out for preseason. We'll be live here early on the West Coast and do a post-match breakdown. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you on the other side.
I was born to be united. Daddy told me when I was just a baby. When I was 5, I went down the Warwick Road. Now I'm addicted. The only place I